Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about fear, what fear is, the cause behind fear, what happens in our body when we get scared, and a few tips to deal with fear and anxiety. First of all, it is good to know that fear is nothing harmful. I mean, it is a survival mechanism. We feel fear because that feeling makes us become alert. It makes us be more prepared for the danger. What fear does is to make us not put ourselves in situation which can cause ourselves our health or our lives. So fear is just a mechanism which can make us ready for life, and then not to take risks which are not needed to be taken. So what's happening in our body when we get scared? It's divided in two different things. The first thing is the physical reactions when we get scared. What happens in the body when we get scared is that we start sweating. The heart rate increases, that makes us prepared for something which is called fight or flight. Fight or flight means that your body is becoming prepared. If we go back to how it was when we didn't live in a civilization, it was that we needed the fear mechanism to have secure life. So if I saw the lion and I just had a few seconds to think, am I going to fight the lion? Do I have the equipment for that? Or is the lion going to attack me? And what happens is that the automatic reaction in brain which tell us to prepare yourself. Can you fight the enemy? Or if you can, you have to run away. So this physical reaction is something that we still have in our body. It hasn't changed at all, even if we live in a civilization and the lion is not out there. But the physical reaction is exactly the same as it was when we lived in our different cages and jungles and stuff. So what happens after that? It is, that is general for everybody, that the fight or flight mood is something for everyone. But then again, there is something called emotional reaction to fear. And that is very individual. What we are scared of is very different from person to person. Somebody can be very scared of being hit by a truck. Someone else is scared by being left alone by their partner and becoming all alone. And that fear, some of those could be logical, but some are illogical, and it is the fantasy toward fear which can make us feel very bad about ourselves, even about the situation, and that make us feel bad. So if I decide to buy an alarm system for my house to keep away the intruders, I do that because I'm scared that the thief comes and take my stuff. And that's logical, and it's something, it might never happen, but it could happen. So that's why I'm prepared for that, and I'm creating something to protect my house from intruders to come into my house. But there are unrealistic fantasies about fear, and that's what causes anxiety, worrying, and that makes us very sad and vulnerable, and that takes a lot of brain energy. And that is like, for example, if I stay in front of people and talk, I might die. Or if my partner leave me, I might die. And I go around and thinking that what if my partner is cheating on me? So the things that we don't have any control over, that we are scared of, are the things which can cause a lot of pain, mental pain, and also anxiety. But if it continues, it can also cause depression. So a little bit about what is the reason behind why we get scared. Why we are scared of something could be there could be different reasons. It could be deep-rooted in our childhood. I mean, for example, being scared of being left alone could be something rooted in our mind, because in the childhood we were very scared to be left alone by our parents. It could be living in a home where parents were fighting all the time, and they were threatening each other to leave and leave the other person. And growing up with that make people vulnerable to relationships. And then you go around and thinking that my partner might leave, or somebody that I love a lot might get sick and die. So it could be because of the trauma in childhood, and it could also be about losing control. As I told in my previous video, we human beings, we have a desire to feel control. I mean, control is something that keeping us. We want to be. We want people to take us serious, and then we want to have a serious life, and that is we do everything because we want to feel control. How I get dressed in the morning, how I come to the class, how I teach, everything is about not losing control. I mean, the days that you come to work and then you don't feel like yourself and you feel very vulnerable, or the days that you're very emotional and you don't feel like you're doing something professional, because that could be a risk to lose control. So that feeling of losing control can make us be very, very scared. And situations like now with the storm that coronavirus is coming, is causing a lot of feeling of losing control, because we don't know what's happening. We need to know what's happening. I mean, I have to have my schedule in where it is written that 8 o'clock you're having a class, and then you have got a break, and then after that you have got next class, and that time is a meeting, and after that you can go home. And when you can go home, you know that what time to eat, what time to go to bed, etc. So we need to have the structure to feel that we are in control of our lives. And when we feel like we are losing that control, that could be devastating, and that could cause a lot of it takes a lot of brain energy, and it can make us exhausted. So let me give you a few tips of dealing with fear and anxiety, and when you feel like, oh my God, this situation is going to kill me, or I cannot handle that. The first tips that I'm going to talk about a little bit more in my next video is going back to zero circle. Zero circle is used in positive psychology, but it is nothing new. It comes from Rumi, who wrote a poem about zero circle, and that means going back to where things were like normal. I mean, when you feel like you are very scared, that you are losing control, and that you start shaking and you don't know how to deal with it, try to relax and go back to the mindset where before that mind of state started, so that you can just feel nothing. I mean, you can just go back and try to feel nothing. The fear will come to you, the anxiety will come, the worrying will come from different ways in your brain, but try not to pay attention to any of them, and just try to relax, just try to go back and see the situation from somebody else's perspective and eyes. Imagine that you're in a bubble, and that you see the problem from the bubble. Nothing can come to you, nothing can damage you, but what you can do is that you can see the problem without judging it. So be judgeless and go back to zero circle. As I said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about zero circle, because it's a very effective cognitive method, which has helped a lot of people in anxiety and depression, and also phobia. Another tip that I think has been a lot of help for me is gratitude. Writing a gratitude journal can be a lot of help to put words on why you are scared of something. It could be that you're writing down what you're happy about, so that you're giving it another perspective. When you start thinking about the things that you're happy and grateful about, that make your brain think more positive, and that could also become a habit, and your brain will search for positive things and happy things because it's so used to that. So try to write the things that you are happy about, and the situation that you think that it is the most difficult time for you to be thankful about something, that is when you need to write down what you are grateful about. So you need to think, you need to go back and try to think about, there must be something. I mean, it is because I'm alive, it is because I have a home, it's because I'm not at the street and I have a healthcare. It could be anything. So when you feel like the most vulnerable, is in that time it's more important, the most important to be more grateful. Deep breathing is another tips which I use myself, and I think is very helpful. An example for how you can do that is that you can just lay down on the sofa and put your hand on your belly, and you breathe in and you breathe out. Breathe in words, positive words like love, calm, joy, happy, and etc. So so words, our brain reacts to words automatic, and that can give us emotions. I mean, if we think positive words daily before we sleep and during the day, that can make our brain more positive to the things which are happening around us. So, but the opposite is when you let negative words come into your head, like fear, like worry, like viruses, like stuff like that. So try to, when you calm down, when you start your breathing process, try to feed your brain with positive words like love, like emotion, like stuff which are happy and it means something for you. It could be the name of your pet. It could be the name of your child or the color that you love. I mean, everything which can small things which can make your brain to think more positive. So that is it for today. I was thinking to tell about a few more tips, but I'm scared that this video is going to be too long. So I will save some of that for the next time, and the next video is going to be about the psychological method of zero circle and what that means, and how you can use it and implement it to feel a little bit, to feel a more positive life.